Hello, hello. Welcome to day 1158 of Connecting the Thoughts. Code for today is you cannot expect to find the answers if you don't ask the questions. Simple. You cannot expect to find the answers if you don't ask the questions. Now, what are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the fact that you can't find answers, or are we going to focus on the fact that you need to ask questions? You'll find out on the other side of the show reel. Tag a friend who needs to receive this message. And if you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to the channel because here is where I post daily videos on the little things that make life big. See you on the other side of the show reel. Welcome back. Welcome back to the conversation on day 1158 of Connecting the Thoughts. Code for today is you cannot expect to find answers if you don't ask the questions. Well, we often find ourselves in that situation where we want to ask a question. You could be in class, you could be in conversation with a friend or someone from the family, a peer, somebody, and you would like to ask a question, but you don't ask why because something within you says, "Ooh, that's a silly question." Or, "Ooh, what if I'm supposed to? What if I'm expected to know the answer for that?" you know so you hold back from asking that question because you have somewhere judged yourself and your question, and you are also afraid of being judged. Thank you for the love. May I know who it was? So yes, think before you ask. Agreed, we do tend to think before we ask, but you won't receive an answer until you ask, right? It'll be there at the back of your mind. You'll constantly be thinking about it. Hey Dale. So you constantly be thinking about it. You won't have an answer to your query. You won't have the right answer, or what you would probably otherwise have is an assumption. And this sometimes leads to communication miscommunication, and this leads to a gap in the understanding of to people. So people, when you have something that is pressingly important to ask, when you're in a relationship, again, I'm going to take it from the relationship perspective. So if you're in a relationship with someone, and this could be a work relationship, this could be a friendly relationship, this could be a love relationship. If you're in that relationship with somebody and you need to ask them a question, there's something on your mind, you need to ask them something about something, and it could be something that's really really important, which is why you're constantly second guessing that question. So it's always better to ask them instead of asking about them to somebody else. Because what happens is when you ask the person yourself, and again, being very mindful of tonality, being mindful of how you present your question, and also making sure that the communication has been received properly, also making sure the question has been received properly. So asking the person yourself directly only means that you will get back the reply from them, and you will get their reply. However, if you ask somebody else about them, then that brings another perspective into the equation. Then it brings in other elements like lack of trust in this relationship which you have that with that person. And so when that person then finds out, it just becomes a lot of a tangle. It becomes this tangle where, oh, and you didn't speak to me, you should have spoken to me instead of speaking to that person about me. And then, you why did you speak to that person? Do you trust that person more than you trust me? Is that your bond with that person stronger than it is with me? you know so many things then begin to come into play. So it's easier to ask the question to the right person. That's one thing. And again, if it's something that you need to know to get moving forward, to take a next step forward, there's a question that you've been wanting to ask it, and this often happens to students. They're sitting in class, they haven't completely gathered or grasped a concept in class, and they want to ask a question, but they're afraid that if I ask that question, I might come across as silly, or I might be conceived as stupid, or how dumb, how dim can you be, kind of. But you know what, maybe there are so many like you in the room who are feeling a little lost, or who might not have completely understood, yet they are nodding their heads, or they are pretending that they've understood, and your question might actually help the others. So you might actually feel it actually, you might actually sense that energy of the room go, whew, thank god somebody asks that question. Dale says it is worse with family many times. Exactly. And this tends to happen with our near and dear ones. That's why I gave that very typical example of, you wanting to ask somebody a question, but then because you're afraid, or you just feel like, oh, I hope I don't offend that person, then you go and ask somebody else, and then it just becomes this whole tangle that happens. So it's always nice to keep communication channels open, to speak to the person that needs to be spoken with, instead of going and speaking about that person, or getting information about that person from another source, because again, they bring in their perspective, they bring in their thought process to the whole conversation, and then that just becomes a lot of miscommunication instead of proper communication. So one of the things that we covered during our mastermind group coaching is communication skills, because I mean, that's something I'm great at when it comes to being a master practitioner. NLP, neuro linguistic programming, hypnotherapy, and timeline. I am also certified with the International Coaching Federation, and I've been in the media industry for 20 years plus. Asking questions, working with words is my strength. So I'm just using my strengths to work and kind of give into my mastermind, with which is the next cohort coming up next this month in July itself, and I'm looking forward to having you guys participate. So I'll share in the link at the end of the live, so that if you'd like to register, now is the time. There's some good offers going on the program, so if you want to join in just yourself, or if you want to join in with a friend, you have that option too. 1+1 options, as well as discounts on the registration, and to get on board for the program. So I hope you do make the wise decision. And if you have any questions around them, ask me, because that's the only way you're going to find your answers. So you cannot expect to find the answers if you don't ask the questions. So ask me a question. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if this conversation has been of value to you, please write in comments saying, I am open. I am open. I am open to receive. I am open to questions. I am open to answers. I am open to abundance. I am open to anything and everything that life is bringing to me, because I am aware that whatever life brings to me is going to be for my best, and it is shaping me in every way and form. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dale. I am open in comments. If this has been of value to you, tag a friend, a family member who might need to receive this message. And until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining, stay safe, and thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so, so much. Thank you for the love, too.